Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony, and I am playing Super Mario World, and doing story times on my channel. So, hello, how is everybody doing? What is new? I am recording today on a Sunday, like I always do. However, the difference with this particular recording session is that typically I would be recording, when my children are at their visitation with their father, so that I'm not like interrupted or anything. But because their visitation with their father is not going to be for a while, because Mother's Day is next weekend, I had to choose a Sunday when, or I had to do it today, because I don't want to record on Mother's Day, because I want to obviously hang out with my kids on Mother's Day, and I didn't, something. I don't know what the heck I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm trying to like concentrate on doing this. So anyway, the point is you might hear my kids in the background, or you know, they might interrupt at some point. But anyway, today I thought I would talk about broken bones, stitches, all of the things that have happened. Like to me, and how they've happened. So the first broken bone, I don't know if this one counts as a broken bone. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I am too young to even remember this, and, I am too young, I was too young to even remember this, and my mother is not 100% sure on if it was broken or sprained. But when I was 2 years old, we were driving from Michigan, where we lived, to Arizona, where we were moving. And we were at like a campground that we stopped at because, you know, my parents were driving with 3 young children. And we were at a campground, and apparently I was like standing on a picnic table, and I fell backwards and I landed on a rock, like on my neck. And my neck swelled up really bad. I couldn't like lay down on it. My mother said we had to stay in hotels the whole rest of the trip because I couldn't sleep in a tent, because we tent camped, by the way. We tent camped. Both times we drove to and from Michigan, Arizona, like from Michigan to Arizona, then Arizona back to Michigan. We tent camped. I forgot to mention that in the Arizona Stories video that I did a few days ago. But yeah, we tent camped the entire time. But anyway, so this particular trip, my mother said my neck may have been broken, like fractured or whatever, or it may have just been sprained. I'm going to guess probably not broken, because I feel like that would probably have some long-lasting repercussions. I'd probably have some serious neck issues now, but I mean, I guess you never know. But I think my mother like stopped at like a drugstore or something and got me like a neck brace of some sort. And then I, of course, you know, slept in hotels the whole rest of the way, or, you know, my whole family did. So that definitely is a no, you're okay. So anyway, that's the first like broken bone that I broken, sprained, whatever it was that I had. And then when we got to Arizona, I guess this would have been a little bit after, a few months afterwards, my sisters and I were jumping on the bed, as children do. And my 2 older sisters somehow managed to land at the exact same time as I jumped, and they flung me off of the bed into a closet door, and I broke my leg. My earliest memory is standing at our back fence, my sister's getting home from school, and immediately telling on me because I was standing on my cast. And what I did not know, I did have a walking cast, but what I found out from my mother, afterwards, is apparently my mother had brought me to the doctor that day, because I did spend my 3rd birthday in a cast. I remember that much. And my mother had brought me to the doctor and told him that he needed to get me a walking cast because no matter what, I was going to walk on that cast. There was no stopping me. So the doctor took pity on my poor mother and got me a walking cast. But yeah, I apparently was definitely not loving the idea of, not walking. Of being in a cast or whatever. And I remember my mother had that cast for years. Like, I don't think she has it anymore, but she had it for years, and it was tiny. It was a tiny little cast. Like, it was a tiny little thing. And I had that broken leg. And then a few years later, when I want to say that I was in kindergarten, but I might not have been. I'm not 100% sure if I was in kindergarten or not. But I remember I was running through the house. Well, like, I literally can smell the blood when I tell this story. I ran headfirst into the mantle of our fireplace. And I know my mom and my sister were in the kitchen baking cookies. Or possibly brownies, but I think it was cookies. And I must have screamed or something. And I remember walking into the kitchen doorway, blood just running down my face. And apparently what happened is I hit my head and the bump swelled up so fast that it split my forehead open. And oh gosh, I should have put a trigger warning in this video, trigger warning if you're squeamish about blood and injury descriptions. Whoops. But yeah. And I remember when I got the stitches, they had to have a whole bunch of people hold me down because I kept moving my head because there's shining a light in my eyes. And I don't know why I didn't just close my eyes. I guess because I was 5, but maybe 6. But I remember for years after that, I was scared to ever have to get stitches because I thought they would always have to shine a light in your eyes. So I wasn't the brightest kid. But, yeah. So, that's that story. And, I do remember that my mother took my stitches out, herself, at the kitchen table. I remember sitting at the kitchen table, she took the stitches out and she gave me a popsicle. But I remember getting the stitches in. It was a nightmare. They had to have quite a few people hold my head still because I was not having it. Oh, no. And then, let's see, what other injuries did I get? Oh, my foot. This one is a funny one. So when I was 13, it was the summer that I turned 14. It was early summer, and I was meant to go to Girl Scout camp in July. It was I think it must have only just been a week-long camp, but I remember it ended on my birthday. And I remember the plan was for my mother to pick up me and my cousin and my best friend, who were all going to this camp with me, and we were going to go to the mall for my birthday. And I was very excited about it because I got to go to this camp. It was supposed to be a mystery camp. And then I was also going to get to go to the mall, which was not something that we did very often, going to the mall. And so this was like the ultimate like cool experience for me. Okay, like I was gonna, I was cool. I was about to be super cool. So I, like, the house that I grew up in had like one small cement step leading down to the um like, you know, like you, there's the porch, like we had like a screened in front porch, and then there was this small step. And I remember I was standing, I stepped down, and I was just standing there. I wasn't moving. I was just standing there, and I somehow managed to just fall. I just fell to the ground, and my foot hurt so bad I couldn't walk on it. I couldn't put any pressure on it. I had no idea what the heck had happened. And I remember my mother took me to the doctor, or the hospital actually, and they said that I may have broken my foot. They weren't sure because broken feet, I guess, are kind of hard to like there's so many small bones in your foot that it's hard to determine if it's broken or not sometimes. And so I just basically had to treat it like it was broken. And so I had to be on crutches, and this was right before I went to this camp. And I was so bummed. And I remember I had to bring the crutches to camp. I still wanted to go to the camp. And probably the third or fourth day of this camp, I got fed up and literally just decided to start walking on my foot because I just wanted to like walk it off basically. And it hurt really bad. But eventually, I kind of stopped hurting so much. I essentially walked it off. And I remember being quite proud of myself for that one. So I'm going to guess that the foot was probably not broken. It was probably more like a sprain of some sort. Because I don't think that I would have been able to walk off a broken foot. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's probably not a thing that someone can do. But I definitely was in pain. And I remember it being very, sorry. Oh, bless me. I remember it being very strange that I just, like, it's not like I stepped off of the porch and then, like, fell. No, like, I was standing there for, like, a solid minute before I fell. So I don't know what the heck happened. Still to this day, I have absolutely no idea how that particular thing happened. But I do remember being in a lot of pain from it and not being able to walk. So I'm going to guess I probably just, like, sprained it or whatever. But, yeah. So that's the story of my foot. And then there was another time. This was when I was an adult. I used to make cookie trays for my friends for Christmas. And I had made a cookie tray for my friend, and she was coming to get it. And I walked outside to give it to her, but I stuck my husband's boots on because there was no point in putting on my shoes when I was just walking out there. And this is December. And so I walk outside and I give her this cookie tray, and I come back inside, and as I'm going to go step up onto my porch, my foot comes out, but the shoe does not, and I smack my foot so hard, like just slammed my toe onto this porch, and my toe hurt so bad, I swear it was broken for like, it was probably a good month that my toe was just swollen and black, and oh my god, it was so bad. I definitely broke my toe. But of course I still had to, walk everywhere, and I still had to do things and take care of my kids and basically suck it up. And then a similar thing happened when I was taking care of the, I was a hospice caregiver for an elderly man. He passed away last September, but I was a hospice caretaker for him. And he had like this lift that we had to use, And I remember, that was terrible. I was pushing the lift through, it was my morning shift, so I'd gotten him out of bed, put him on the potty, and then I was bringing the lift back into the living room because we would bring him into his chair, and that's where we'd put his brief on and do that whole thing. And they had this big dining room table with it was like an antique table and like the chairs and everything. And I was pushing the lift and I smacked right into this chair with my finger. And I swear to you, I like instantly felt like I was gonna vomit. I saw stars, like my finger hurt so bad for so long. And the worst part is, I had to just grin and bear it because I couldn't like shriek because nobody else can take care of this man right at this moment. I literally had to keep doing it. So I just gritted my teeth and did what I had to do, and then by the time I went for my evening shift, like to put him back into bed, my finger hurt so bad, and I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday, because I only worked Saturday and Sunday, so I'm pretty sure that it was a Sunday morning, so thankfully I, only had to just finish that day, and then I had a week before I would have to, before I'd have to do anything again. But oh my gosh, it was so bad. My finger hurt so bad. And I think that's it. I don't think there's been any other things like that. So, yeah, that's it.